Are Indians now skipping Maldives for their holidays? Maldives has lost Indian tourists in terms of numbers. They have drastically dipped from last year. Is this because Maldives started the India Out campaign on which Mohammed Muizzu won the election? His party won the election, and well, now it is Maldives out as far as the Indian tourists are concerned. Indian tourists have fallen to the 6th place in Maldives tourism. And why is this important? Well, Maldives run on an economy which is largely and solely dependent on tourism. So if tourism numbers fall, it impacts the Maldivian economy very significantly. And that's our big debate right now. Let me get in Aditya Shivamurthy from the ORF and Sriram Patel, who is the treasurer of the Travel Agents Association of India. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me on the broadcast. Aditya, let me start with you, which is that it was India out all the way for Mohammed Muizzu. Well, the tables seem to have turned. It is now Maldives out as far as the Indian travelers are concerned. And this is going to hurt the Maldivian economy. It is a tourism economy after all.
Yeah, Gauri, I agree with you. After all, Maldivian economy, as you rightly pointed out, depends a lot on tourism taxes and charging its tourists. And I think there has been a significant blow with the number of Indian tourists not coming into the Maldives. Well, to be honest, I think there has been an increase in the number of Chinese tourists who have come into the Maldives in the last couple of months. But they were expecting a large number of tourists, overall tourists, to be to be there for this year. But that has subsequently decreased because Indian tourists are now preferring other East Asian destinations and other South Asian destinations like Sri Lanka. So Maldives seems to be not on the radar of Indian tourists as of now.
Indeed, almost 30 to 35% of the economy is directly related to tourism, and more than 60% of foreign currency earnings are because of tourism. So that's how significant this sector is for the Maldivian economy. And on your screens are some of those numbers that tell you that what is the dip for Maldives from the Indian tourist point of view, and it's been going down also because of some of those derogatory remarks that have come in. Now let's now go up 30,000 feet on this discussion. These numbers tell a story, and that story is about the India-Maldives relationship, isn't it, Aditya?
Yeah, definitely. Look, when Muizzu came to power, his whole anti-India rhetoric and campaign based out of this, what they call as India Out campaign, it made such nationalist inroads in certain sections of Maldivian politics. Again, not to say all Maldivians, but certain sections, especially the voter base of the Muizzu's party, it made such massive inroads that everyone was so keen on taking this anti-India stance. Even after coming to power, a lot of these politicians who were, political activists in the past now started acting as political activists despite having political positions. And, this whole narrative of treating India as an antagonistic power, treating India as a hostile power in itself, triggered these derogatory remarks. And they had some kind of confidence that they could do anything that they did as they were in the opposition and they could get away with it. But now I think what initially happened also is, I think there was a calculation in Muizzu's side that if Indian tourists don't come to Maldives, we can still go and catch Chinese tourists and boost our economy. But now with the Maldivian economy falling deep down in distress, there is a significant boost and initiatives being taken by the Maldivian side to bring in tourists from India. But I don't think it's working out significantly.
And in terms of, do we have Sriram Patel as well? Okay, before I get in Sriram Patel, on the the geopolitical aspect of this fact, Maldives sits on a very important destination in the Indo-Pacific. It also is set to be significantly impacted from climate change going forward. If these tourist numbers continue, then it also has a larger impact on its economy, both from a climate point of view, from a revenue income point of view, and that is also going to have a geopolitical response to it as well, because Muizzu has a China slant. He will be leaning further on the Chinese side to make up for the fall in Maldivian revenues and earnings.
Yeah, no, definitely. Look, but again, this is where I find a bit of limitations on the Chinese side as well. Look, Maldives in itself is significantly dependent on tourism, and it wants tourists to boost its revenue, but at the same time, it faces a long-term climate change challenge. Now, China has not been significantly investing in its sustainable development projects. India has been. India has been, in fact, investing in something called high impact community development projects, which has been working for the benefit of local communities, be it social sector, be it health sector, education sector. So that is something, that China has not been able to do in the last 5, 6 years. Now we see that changing to a smaller scale, but China has been a significant mega infrastructure investment partner compared to India, right? And if the tourist numbers start going down, there is a high possibility that Maldives economy might go further into deep distress. But the amount of Chinese projects and loans that come in, they always come with a big, big economic cost. Now, the reason why Maldives economy is in crisis is itself because it has borrowed significantly from China and it is continuing to
Yes.
repay them. These loans that were taken from 2015,
You know, Aditya, this
2016.
was a discussion I was having earlier as well on this show, which was about China's funding mechanisms. There are no grants, aids, helps, assistance when it comes to China. It is loans and loans alone. And the fine print is worrisome because you're talking about countries which are not in a position to repay high loans. So the question I'm asking is that this situation, do you think it's going to force Mohammed Muizzu and his government to probably reach out and mend ties with India more proactively than he has done so till now? Because only a couple of months back was this very derogatory remarks that his ministers had made about India and the Prime Minister.
Yeah, I think that has already been happening. In fact, if you notice, in the last 3 months, we have had three high-level ministerial visits coming from the Maldives, and I think in the coming days, it's only going to intensify. In fact, a high-level Indian delegation was in the Maldives, reaching out to understand the current economic situation a couple of weeks ago, and to also understand what kind of investments could be offered and what kind of assistance could be offered to the Maldives. So I think there has been a push for reconciliation. China hasn't given anything substantial since Muizzu has come to power. In the last 9 months, there has been nothing significant that China has offered apart from like around 70 million,
Yes.
$90 million in grant. But other than that, India has offered, budget assistance. India has been offering loans. India has also been providing a lot of subsidy, kind of
Yes.
debt restructuring in terms of 50 million US dollar bonds that were coming up. So I think in the coming days, Muizzu will. There is no other option, I think, for Muizzu. If China keeps acting this passively, he will continue to reach out to India and he will try to reconcile in a massive way. And I see that coming up in the upcoming months.
Absolutely. And while the reconciliation will come in from Mohammed Muizzu, it's a matter of time. India also needs to be very clear that it cannot afford to alienate Maldives. And that's just how the geopolitical scenario is right now. We cannot push Maldives towards China any more than it already is. So irrespective of whether Indian tourists go to Maldives or not, the geopolitical situation warrants New Delhi to be practical, pragmatic, and ensure it keeps its long-term interests in mind. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of India Global. Thanks so much for watching.